Start off from Parliament.
And a minority in Parliament say they cannot understand how government will be asking the House to approve $250 million at a time when it is asking its debtors to forgive or postpone the repayment of debts. According to former Majority Leader Osei Mensah-Bonsu, the loan is for the Ghana Financial Stability Project. Listen.
$250 million facility is a financing agreement between the government of Ghana and the IDA, the International Development Association of the World Bank Group. And Speaker, it is for Ghana's financial stability project. The Speaker, is a critical note in the restructuring that government has embarked on. And that agreement, the discussion with the World Bank IMF group, preparatory to where we are today, was really, it was, Mr. Speaker, so it was part of the discourse that we engaged in. So that is what it's supposed to do, to solidify the platform for us. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much.
Well, the minority side have been criticizing this attempt to borrow more. Listen to the minority whip, Governs Kwame Abuja.
This actually goes to the heart of almost every problem we have currently as a country, over borrowing. When we have borrowed up to our neck, we can't pay. We are going around the world begging everybody to forgive us our loans. At the same time, we are borrowing more. We have gone everywhere. China was last week borrowing, telling China that forgive us part of what we borrowed. And then on Wednesday morning, you are borrowing more. How do you solve your borrowing problem by borrowing more? I don't get it. And I'm saying that the finance minister better answer that question. Don't take that responsibility, because it's a dangerous trap for you. In fact, once upon a time, you presented a budget here. That year was better. The year that the finance minister came, things went bad. But they could have made you a finance minister. They refused not to. They refused to make you a finance minister. Don't take up the responsibility of borrowing extra money to, help the economy.
Well, former minority leader also was on his feet, Haruna Iddrisu, and is warning that the continuous borrowing of government may be breaching the IMF deal currently being implemented.
Speaker, the Honorable Minister for Parliamentary Affairs is invited to lay a financing agreement of a loan of up to $250 million for the Ghana Financial Stability Project for and on behalf of the Minister of Finance. Mr. Speaker, I will know whether he is aware that Ghana, as part of its agreement with the IMF, between now and even end of 2025, cannot borrow more than $250 million non-concessionary loan. So if he's laying this, what he needs to clarify is whether maybe this came earlier before part of the creditors agreement the minister reached last week with the IMF. Ghana from now, even for 2025, maximum, Ghana can only borrow non-concessionary up to $250 million. Then $500 million into 2026, and it's elevated into 2027. So if you want to cover the whole envelope of 250 with this instrument, what he needs to clarify is, by his knowledge, whether this is a concessionary or a non-concessionary facility, and why he wants to lay it.
So that's the former minority leader, Haruna Iddrisu there. Let me bring in my colleague, Kweku Asante. He's been monitoring this for us and other happenings in Parliament. So, Kweku, despite these concerns that were raised, we are also told that 300 million worth of tax waivers locked up at the Finance Committee. There are new requests. What exactly are the details?
Yes, about 12.757 million euros in new tax waivers is being requested by the Finance Committee. That also be referred to the Finance Committee. And if you look at the other paper, it says that this is required for the imputation by the Energy Ministry as well as Messrs. Tenga-Shep Ghana Limited for the electrification of 205 communities in Upper East Region under the National Electrification Scheme and the Self-Help Electrification Program. So government says The tax waivers that are being blocked in the committee, they still have a couple more, and in particular this one, 12.75 million euros. That is expected to electrify about 205 communities. That has also been referred, and the minority have still made that their insistence known that they do not believe that this is the time new loans and tax waivers must be coming in. This is the time government must be modest, government must be cutting its expenditure and all these things to save the nation a lot of resources and not continue to resort to borrowing. There are even MPs who make the comparison that if you convert 12.75 million euros to Ghana cedis, you are headed into more than 200 million Ghana cedis when government needs such similar funds and they are raising all that value.
I wonder then what the conclusion then on the matter was.
Well, the Speaker of Parliament did allow these two financing agreements as well as the request for waiver of import duties and taxes to go to the Finance Committee. It is now up to the Finance Committee to work on it and present a report, whether or not they will be recommending for the House an approval or not. But clearly from the minority stance on this, they are really going to prepare themselves for battle. Some of them even referencing the $150 million loan they approved quite recently for the Greater Accra Resilience Project, saying that government was just simply spending those amount of money without investing them in places that will really be productive and give the country an ability to pay those money. So we expect that probably by the end of this session of Parliament, that committee report will come and then the House will take a vote.